What's good, fight fans? It's Ashley's Corner. Shout out to the LDBC, the Lions Den Boxing community. I just wanted to make a quick video about the interview that Fred from Barbershop Conversations did with Shawn Porter maybe 2 days ago, 3 days ago. And the only thing is, the question was that Fred asked him in this particular interview, particular video, was, did you feel did it ruffle your feathers any type of way that fans were saying that him, as in Shawn Porter and Danny Garcia, both was ducking Errol Spence Jr.? He said no, it didn't ruffle my feathers at all. But then he went and talked for about 2 minutes, saying that, when he started as a pro, there wasn't any platforms out. Well, there wasn't a lot of platforms out at the time. And he's saying when Errol Spence started, there was a lot of platforms. All right. Now, let me just say real quick, them old people, there's them old people that's real nasty. They always got an attitude. They always get real smart with you. They say anything to you and walk the fuck off, like they really nasty people. And you always like, why old motherfuckers always mean and always mad? I know why they're mad. They're mad because of the same reason why Shawn Porter's mad. So I'm going to say Shawn Porter's mad because his ass is old. Okay? Old motherfuckers are mad like that because there wasn't all the things, all the opportunities that we have growing up. They didn't get that back in the day. And if they did, their lives would have probably turned out totally different. And so they're jealous, they're upset, they're bitter about that, So Shawn Porter's mad because his ass is old. And the hate is going directly to Errol Spence Jr. in this interview in particular. He's mad. He's blaming. I can't even say he's blaming, but you can't blame Errol Spence for the time that he was born and the time he began being a professional boxer. It's not his fault, honestly. And if there was diehard fans when you turned pro, there was diehard fans every year of boxing. Boxing is a year-round sport, and I'm more than sure people did know who Shawn Porter was, and the reason why his fan base isn't big now is for what? Like, this was happening. Like, I think Shawn Porter been pro for like 13 years. It's been a long time. You know what I'm saying? They still was computers out at that time. I mean, you're right. There wasn't a lot of platforms out that's out right now, that can be utilized. But what's your excuse right now? Why don't you have a big fan base or whatnot, Shawn? I really think it's your fighting style. I didn't know who Errol Spence was before I became a fan of his. I began watching him in the amateurs before he even turned pro. And what made me continue to check for him was his fighting style. I didn't hear him speak or nothing. I just seen him fight. Now, I personally like the way he throws his combinations. I personally like his punch choices. I like the way he lands his punches, where he places punches. I like the fact that he goes to the body, number one reason. I like the fact that he goes to the body. Head punches is cool, but you got a skull. When it comes to your body, you got organs. I never understood why people never really threw a lot of body punches. So when I seen him throwing them so perfectly, and never forgot to throw a punch to the body, it just intrigued me. And the more I watched Errol Spence, the more I liked him. When I watched Shawn Porter for the first time fighting, guess what? He was fighting Paulie. And I still wasn't impressed. And that fight was a good fight. Like, he whooped Paulie's ass. But at the same time, I don't like your fighting style. And I think that's the same thing going for a lot of other people that's not checking for Shawn Porter. Because there's people that came out that fought, that turned pro a year or two before you, the same year you did, and a little bit after what you did, that people are very big fans of, that have that fan base, but you just don't have it. Because of what? Danny Garcia got a bigger fan base than you, Shawn Porter. He doesn't have the same excuse that you have, Like, I don't see that being any different. Now, but okay, he wasn't on your radar. Errol Spence wasn't on your radar is what he said. Also, that he was Errol Spence was gunning for somebody that had a title, and so was Shawn Porter, and Shawn Porter didn't have a title, so it didn't make sense to gun for Errol Spence. I understand, but that's not what your reason was, kind of, like, when you told people, like, that. What fucked me up about Shawn Porter, because I tried to watch Shawn Porter's fights. I've watched his fights for the last few years, and it's just not impressive. As I've seen people fight like that before on the street. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying he can't box or whatnot, because he can. He does have a good boxing ability, but what you see is like, it's not that impressive from Gervonta Davis. My top picks: Gervonta Davis, Errol Spence Jr., Deontay Wilder. They're more exciting to watch than Shawn Porter. You know what I mean? But the excuse was he didn't have a title though. Like, you could have, just because you was gunning for somebody who had a title at the time. You claim Errol Spence didn't. He had a title after that, like, what, in May last year? June, I think, last year he had a title. June, something like that. Like, whenever he had that thought, must have been before that time. So what's your excuse? It's been over 12 months. You still haven't fought him. You fought Keith Thurman. You fought Keith Thurman for the title and almost got dropped three different times throughout the fight. You lost, bruh. You lost that fight. And then the whole time after that, you spent, what, a year and some change getting a rematch. This whole time. But this whole time after you took that L from Keith Thurman, Errol Spence was still willing to give you an ass whipping. He was still willing to give you a title shot. You never went to Errol Spence Jr. My little thought on this whole Shawn Porter being scared of Errol Spence Jr., I believe it. Most definitely. I ethered Shawn Porter last year when I made a duck hunt video, because he was straight ducking Errol Spence Jr. So you could have got that IBF strap. You could have tried for that strap. But just like I said, I'm thinking that, Kenny Porter used to train Errol Spence Jr. back in the day when he was an amateur, I do believe. So Shawn Porter has sparred him. Shawn Porter claims he sparred him once back in the day for like 1 to 2 rounds. Tell me, how much sense does that make? Because I remember him saying, somebody asked him about power or whatever, who hits harder in between Errol Spence Jr. and Keith Thurman and shit, and he gave all the respect to Keith Thurman, saying that, I only sparred Errol Spence once back in the day, and it was only for a couple of rounds. Does that make any sense? Errol Spence Jr. and Shawn Porter trained under Kenny Porter, which is his father. I'm looking at it like, if y'all only sparred a couple rounds, he probably was embarrassing your ass. Because y'all had to be around the same in weight. He probably embarrassed you, and your father got you up under the fire and took him out the ring. And then y'all never sparred again. I think Kenny Porter knows, as well as Shawn Porter knows, that they can't beat Errol Spence. And I think they couldn't beat his ass back then when he was an amateur. If you look at Errol Spence's first fight, I think it's Jonathan Garcia is the person he fought. And you look at the way he fight now, it's like night and day. Yeah, he was throwing them back in the day. He was throwing them in his first pro fight. He looked good on his first pro fight. You can tell it's him. Like, that's his style. But he's a totally different animal, yo. He's a totally different animal right now, yo. Oh, my goodness. So he knows if he couldn't fuck with him back in the day, everybody progresses. Even Shawn Porter progresses. But he knows visually what he's seen when Errol Spence was an amateur and what he's seen when he fought Lamont Peterson, when he fought the last guy, when he fought Kell Brook that whooped Shawn Porter's ass. Kell Brook gave Shawn Porter a good fight. He beat you. And then Errol Spence came behind you and broke that man's face. And I don't care what you say, it was already broken by Triple G. One side of his face was broken by Triple G. It didn't get re-injured. Alright, Errol Spence broke the other side of his face. And I just think there's fear there because of that. I think he knows for sure he cannot beat Errol Spence Jr. and it will be an embarrassment. I think that's what the fuck is going on in the Porter's head and both of their head. So I don't think they're going. They want the fight. I don't think they want it. And I just seen a video this morning. My man, shout out to the Bottom Line SW. He said he made a video saying that this guy's thinking about retiring after Danny Garcia. Bruh. After all of that talk, yo. After all of that talk. Son, you gonna run out the game with your tail between your legs? Yellow belly like that? 13 years plus or whatever? Down the shitter. Because if you leave because you don't want to fight somebody you used to spar when he was a fucking amateur, do you know how bad that sounds, Shawn? Everything you've done has been some poop. Honestly, if that's what you're going to do. Any other time, I wouldn't give a damn. If that's what you want, if you want to retire, go ahead and live your life. With kudos to you. You've had a hard one, continuing to have your weight down and all the other, eat right and shit, work out all the time. Go ahead and live your life. You know what I'm saying? I don't have no problem with that, but I have a problem with this. And I don't even really fuck with Shawn Porter like that. But bruh, do your brother a favor. Do Errol Spence a favor. And if you do get this belt, don't make Errol Spence go through the ringer again by getting a vacant title or some shit. If you do win and drop the title just because you don't want to fight Errol Spence and you want to retire, bruh. If you really do want to retire after Danny Garcia's fight, yo, you better not fight nobody else and just retire. Don't fight no other Joe Blow and don't give EJ his title shot. Don't stop EJ's dream because you are mad because your ass is old and you know you can't beat him and shit. If he want to be undisputed and you about to get out of the game, hey, be an old training partner, an old friend that your father trained back in the day. Be an old friend and give him that title, yo. Give him the title shot. If you win, just do that, yo. Just do that. For your own legacy, for your own heart, because I'm letting you know if you do that shit after you retire, your friends, your buddies, especially the people that know you and Errol Spence had back in the day with sparring each other and shit when he was amateur, all of them people ain't gonna let you rest, yo. They ain't gonna let you live. They not. They gonna talk about this shit and how you was a punk and scared for a while, man. That shit is gonna be stuck to your motherfucking legacy like a damn stain. It's gonna be a bad rash that your ass can't get rid of, yo. I really hope you don't retire. I did not see no footage about this. Just like I said, it's something that I heard on SW's video earlier today. But that's it, and that's all. My ass here to go to work. Always like and subscribe to the channel. Peace.